Double whammy unboxing. Let's get this started. Hello everyone, my name is Matthew, and today we are here doing a double unboxing video. Today we actually have two separate packages from two different interests of mine, and from the title you can already guess what it is. But if you just randomly clicked on this video, you just literally took your mouse and you went, oh, there's a video, click, and you didn't have any prior knowledge of this. We have two packages here, one from Rio, one from Godzilla. So without further ado, let's go ahead and do the unboxing first. So for the first one, which I'm going to assume that not many people are here for, and unfortunately I am going to have to use a knife for this because I don't know where my pair of scissors went. I mean, we just have to make a small little incision. I'm probably going to have to make some edits. So let's angle this down so we can actually capture this fully in frame. And this should be Jewel from the movie Rio, which, if you guys don't know, is a 2011 animated film, and I recently just fell in love with it. And I'm kind of like buying these plushies because I kind of want to start getting plushies again, and not to mention Jewel is going to be a central part of T.O.S.G Season 22. So here's Jewel. Did it label? Oh, there is a barcode down there, so I'm not going to show that. But surprisingly, it doesn't look like I'm gonna have to do much censoring here. I guess because like most of my personal info was underneath the plushie. Oh, whoa. That was a bit impressive. So there we go. So here is Jewel. Does Jewel... Oh. Huh. This is interesting. Well, it's an AliExpress bootleg. I think my wings are... Actually, maybe it's supposed to be like this, but if you try spreading them out, this is what they look like. It basically just feels like the same exact thing as Blue does. I put Blue away, but I'm gonna have to two together. So yeah, this actually does look pretty good. I thought it would look kind of miserable. Is the wire still? Yeah, the wire's still in there. Feet. That looks actually pretty decent, especially for a bootleg little tag. Yeah. This isn't half bad. I'm actually kind of impressed. Yeah, not bad at all. I recently rewatched the movies, and they're so freaking good. I'm really hoping if Ice Age Boiling Point does well, that'll like spark Disney to like greenlight some more projects based on Blue Sky's properties, such as a Rio 3. Like, get the cast back, get the crew back. You are on, like, demon time for something really good. Like, this is really good, though. Anyways, I'm going to put this to the side. Here's the, not the main event, because they're both equally as the main event. So we're going to have to get a little creative here, because that's, the other side shows my personal info. So let's be kind of, like, very careful about this. So let's take the serrated knife, because it is kind of serrated here. I would not recommend using knives to open boxes like this. No, that's not gonna work. I'm trying to think here, because like, okay, what if we just literally make an incision from the top and just tear the fricker open? Or, you can actually just do this. There you go, get the hands-on experience. Oh, I might have to censor that. But there you go. Oh, it's upside down. So here is the Playmates One Eye, and it's the last figure in the third wave. So I have Real Feel Godzilla, Real Feel Kong, Drowned Viper, and One Eye now. So let's kind of get this guy out of the package, which I'm actually just going to do it this way because I'm going to stop collecting my boxes just because, like, for room and convenience sake. Get your butt up there. There we go. Just kind of... So, there we go. I don't think we need to do that. Whoa! Damn, that was... Okay. Don't put that much force onto this thing. Oh, damn. Almost cut myself. Oh, wait, let's actually get the bone club, like, out here first. Actually, we're gonna just, like... So let's get the bone club, because I'm actually kind of curious about this. It's bigger than I thought it'd be, because, like, in retrospect to the film, it looked about the same size as the axe. And the axe is, I think, a bit smaller than this. This is actually pretty, like, nice bone club. I wonder what Titan this is from, because it can't be from, a Kong, unless this was a really big Kong. Let's continue. This is gonna take a little while, because again, I don't have my scissors on me. There we go. Is he out? Yeah, of course we have like one more zip tie. I hate... Oh no, we have two. I hate the ones with the legs, man. Like, they suck. Like, this is why I think Playmates figures are better off as closed box figures, not open box. Like, this sucks. I hate these little ties. I mean, then again, NECA had them, and they were... Okay, finally, we're done. Let's get this cardboard mess out of here. Got a lot to clean up after this. So, let's get the club in here. So, how do we do this? Do we literally just slide it in? Okay, so I'm going to apply the same sort of logic here as the battle axe. Hold on. I'm sure there's instructions on the box, but, like, let's be honest, the average kid is not going to look at the box. Now that just feels like I'm bending the frickin' thing. You know, I'll figure that out later. But yeah, so Jewel from Rio and One Eye from Godzilla Kong the New Empire. Anyways, that's gonna have to about do that for this double whammy of unboxing. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, everyone. Sorry, Skar King, but looks like someone else is in charge. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another review. My name is Matthew, and today we're continuing our waters, trenching right through them with another addition to the Godzilla Kong the New Empire lineup from Playmates Toys. Today we have the One Eye with Bone Truncheon. What, you thought that was just called the Bone Club? No, officially listed on the website is called One Eye with Bone Truncheon. And if you are one of those people that just don't really have like a good grasp on the MonsterVerse or don't even know who you're looking at, this is One Eye. Essentially, he is a minor villain in the Godzilla Kong the New Empire movie and acts as like Skar King's lackey or one of his minions of sorts. Essentially, he works under Skar King, almost like a second in command, even though he does kind of get his butt whooped a bit by the guard, so maybe he's not exactly a second in command, but whatever. He seems to be high up the ranks in Skar King's army in the film. That said, It's pretty much a minor villain, shows up for a few minutes, and then we don't hear from him again. But that said, Playmates decided to offer him in figure form, and to my knowledge, this is the only figure that exists of One Eye in any scale. I could be wrong. Watch as like Bandai pulls out a little minifigure said, "You were saying?" Anyways, so with that being said, now that we have our first and only introduction to One Eye in the world of figures, is it good as some of the other figures around this time are, or is this thing just a big, massive dud? Let's find out. So for starters, I want to talk about the accessory, which is of course the bone truncheon. Now, you might be wondering, oh, well, it's just a bone. Well, exactly, it is a bone. It's literally a bone used to basically act as a bat or some sort of bone club. And it's basically just a large femur, but it kind of begs the question, what the hell was this thing? Because looking at the scale of One Eye's leg, this whole femur is bigger than One Eye's whole leg. Like, look, there's toe to toe. That's like up to this hip. And maybe this is just my personal gripe, but I really don't like how they introduce these things and like never explain where they're from. Like, is this from a large Godzilla? Is this from a large primate? Because we know Titans in the universe can get up to abnormal size. Because we saw that bone bridge, which, by the way, I'd love to see that as like a play set. Anyways, for the actual bone femur here, we obviously have the ball socket joint where it would like peg it into the socket, into the hip, because that is a real thing that exists in nature. It's got a little bit of like detail. You got a little seam line, obviously where the mold is, or molding detail, sorry. We have a little bit of more detail, kind of like all the little cracks and crevices a little bit. And you kind of like get a little concave here. And then you obviously got the whole bone itself, which, by the way, the whole thing is made of like a flexible rubber. So you don't have to like worry about this thing snapping anytime soon unless you really want to like force and tear it. Although I would not recommend that. We have some like wavy patterns with the bone club. It looks great. Here we have like where the top of the knee would be. At least according to my like 3 minutes of body study that I just did a few days ago to actually understand which part of the body this was, because I actually kind of suck at body anatomy. But that said, here we have the top of the knee, or I guess where it would meet the knee, and yeah, we just have like these two parts of the bone that like curl in almost like this. And I'd assume that this is where you get like the all that action. So yeah, that's about it. One more look-see for the bone club. Nicely done. Alright, so on the promotional images, it shows Skar King, One Eye, holding it like this in this hand. And relatively speaking, it's not like overly hard, but I do have a bit of difficulty kind of like squeezing it in. So the way I like to do it usually is try to find like the thinnest part of the weapon, like on Kong's axe, and just try to squeeze it in there from there. And now you got not Skar King, One Eye holding the bone club. It's not exactly like a 100% secure fit because it does tend to like jostle around in there. As you can see, it tends to like shake in there. But overall, he does hold on to it, so he's not gonna like shake it off and like it goes flying. At that point, it might as well just become like a baton or something. But yeah, it serves its purpose. It is actually a very well detailed femur bone, and yeah, it's just the anatomy of it realistically makes no sense. But realism was thrown out the way as soon as Versus Kong entered the scene. So, what am I say? Anyways, for the accessory, I mean, it's a weapon. It's cool. It looks great. He used it in the movie, so at least it's character movie accurate. I'm gonna say, I mean, what things could have been improved? Like, realistically speaking, there's really nothing I could, like, say overly negative. It's a basic bone club, you know? That's really just all what it's down to. So, I'm gonna say 8 out of 10. I feel like what could have been improved is maybe like the this, because this could get a little annoying, especially for people who want to pose their figures like I do. So yeah, there's that. So also I kind of wish there was maybe like more of a dry brushing to kind of like show some wear and tear on the bone, because this might have been old. Anyways, on to the actual figure. So for One Eye himself, this is the last figure I need for Wave 3, but as you can see, One Eye has actually some decent like application to it. It has like a dark brown pupil, like a olive mustard yellow iris, and then of course the white eyes there and there. Bro really thinks he's GMK Godzilla, huh? If I look carefully, is there any semblance? No. Okay, I think that's just the basic detailing. But yeah, I almost wish like we could know what happened to this guy. Like, he clearly got scratched. Like, what's his story? But as for the scratches, much like Kong's scarring, there really isn't a whole lot to it. It's basically just red paint slapped onto it. I kind of wish there was like some scarring detail. But for the actual like brow, the skin, the nose, that's actually done pretty well. I do like what we have here. There's a lot of like wrinkles and such. The teeth are actually pretty well sculpted with like some darkened brown paint there to give it some extra like withering detail. The teeth are going to be like in that piss kind of just like scowl look. Nostrils are decently detailed in there as well. I've got it looks like a little scuff. I'm not entirely sure what that is. I'm assuming it's probably scuffed because that's also scuffed, so maybe the whole base figure is like that. Coming to the fur, like, actually, let's talk about the ears. The ears are actually pretty well detailed for, like, what they are. A little, like, white spray, of course. Okay, so yeah, there. It's all entirely, like, a white spray. And then, of course, you get, like, more of the brown as you go to the back, just to kind of give them, like, a more of a white appearance. For the fur itself, the fur on the back, we'll talk about the head itself later, but look at the fur on the back. Like, that's actually really well detailed, and it also goes all the way down, of course, where it'd be the beard. I know, like, apes in the real world have fur all over their heads. But let's talk about this head. My god, that hairline. I'm sorry, but this, of course, here we have, like, some splotches of fur where his hairline, I guess, used to be, but because of how old he is, like, I guess age just kind of caught up with him, and like, kind of gotta shave that hair off, buddy. Gotta find like a 50-foot tall razor for this dude, huh? But yeah, balding aside, it actually does look pretty decent as far as the details concerned, because we have, like, for the first blotches that are left, actual like brown paint, which continues on, which is really nice to see. For the chest here, a lot of the chest that is here is actually like fallen off because of how old he is. I don't know if that's a real thing on apes. I think that is. But yeah, because of how old he is, he just doesn't have as much fur as I guess he used to in his prime. We have this big splotch of red paint, which I'm assuming is supposed to be like some tribal war-esque painting that Skar King has applied to not only his minions, but also One Eye in this case. We have like a bit of scarring here, which this is how I wish Playmates would start sculpting their scars from now on, like both here and on Kong, please. We actually have some decent musculature detail, not as big as Kong's or Skar King's, but still decent. For the fur themselves here, like kind of going to the sides here, they look great, continuing that gray spray. We have this like red magenta-ish paint on, actually no, it's maroon, that's the color I'm thinking of, maroon paint on the right shoulder, which again I have to assume is the tribal paint, unless that's just very weirdly placed blood. Moving to the edge, let's do the shoulder first. So the shoulder, you're gonna have like this single row of spray here going down to the wrists, but it pretty much gets like the job done cohesively, minus the hinge. On the back of it is going to be completely, almost looks like you're going whoosh, whoosh. That'd be an awesome POV. Maybe I might use that. We have like this awesome like fur detail going right here, and you kind of see where there's a bit of fur missing because of how old he is. This almost just feels like an amped up version of Skar King. I'm going to be making that comparison a lot because realistically speaking, those two characters are very similar. But yeah, the whole like skin area is like completely furless, and you can kind of see back here there's no fur. Trying to find like more splotches like down here and here. It's very smoothened out. That part doesn't have gray in it, weirdly enough. For the wrists, again, this guy all jumbled up. We have like him kind of like cupping his own hand. I gotta assume, oh man, we got a lot of scuffage. I don't think that's from the Bone Club. As weird as that sounds, it can't be from the Bone Club because I've had this thing for like less than a week. Like, damn. But yeah, it's inside the hand, so like barely anyone would notice anyway. So we have the four fingers, nice spray, nice detail work, nice little thumb. Looks very nice. For the waist here, looks very well detailed. Monkey booty, very, very, very unfortunately thick. But actually has some very nice detail work. And of course you get more of the skin, which is going to be completely furless, as well as a bit on the back of the leg, like specifically here. Not so much here because it is kind of like randomized, although there is some parts here. And for the forelegs, here we have another bit of like spray, kind of going around, showing you all that detail. Here we get a lot more of that detail work at the back, there and there. And lastly, for the feet, because being an ape, this guy does not have a tail to look out to. The feet are actually pretty decently done. We have some copyright info. Copyright and trademark legendary. But yeah, it looks pretty damn solid. So, for sculpt and paint, I will admit, personally, I think Playmates is one of the more stronger efforts in their lineup, because this is one of their later releases, because they do get better with age. That said, I do think that there are some like drawbacks. For example, I do think the scarring, because it's done here, like why couldn't it be done there? And I also do kind of wish the white paint was a bit more evened out in some aspects, because looking at the back here, he's basically like blank. There's entire sections like at the back here and here, some arm stuff like where there's could be white paint to give this guy an extra flair, but there's really nothing of it. But with that said, again, it's not the best, but it's definitely one of the better releases in the Playmates line. So I'm gonna rate this guy fair rating of 7.5 out of 10 for sculpting and paint. Next up is articulation. Now what's cool is that we have not seen an articulated head that allows a Kong or any sort of ape to look up and down since Kong Skull Island. Yep, they brought it back. So yeah, Skar King's head appears to be either on a swivel hinge or a ball. Nope, that's definitely a hinge. Sorry, ball joint. So we can go up about this far, down about that far. So not a whole lot of range, but you can still get that range. Side to side like this, in a full 360 degrees. So you can move it like that. Swivel hinges for the shoulders, so you can go up about and pushing it like that. Up about that far, down about that far. Can rotate a full 360. For the shoulder, can bend out about that far, in about that far. Can rotate a full 360. Wrists can rotate a full 360. The waists, very, very squeaky, capturing the attention of my cat. The reason why is actually because it is on a ball peg, so you can go down about this far. Oh, okay. Down about this far, forward about that far, back and forth like that. Squeak, squeak, McGee. Go a little side to side like that. Nothing really spectacular, but you can actually take the hip, go up about this far, back about this far, can swivel. trying my best to do a 360. Probably not. I mean, you could probably do one, but I don't want to scuff the paint anymore that's already been scuffed. And for the knees, we have a hinge and can go pretty much a full 360. If you're wondering the bend, I can go in, straighten out, just like that. So on average, he seems to be a very posable, decent ape figure for Playmate standards. But what's the big problem? Because there's always going to be that big problem, huh? Watch this. It's not straightened, like it's not aligned. Now, consider this a nitpick or whatever, but I don't understand why Playmates decide to curve the arms like this. Because on Skar King and Kong, neither of their arms curled in like this. But this almost makes it look like he's bending his elbow like this, even though the hinge is pointing this way. So, how does that work? Also, it's like that on both arms, see? This one actually has a worse bend than the other arm does. And for the knees, when you place the hinge forward, you're expecting the foot to be facing forward, right? No, it's at an angle, which I think could have been on Skar King. I would have to double check. But this just doesn't look right. So when you like straighten everything out, it has like this really weird straightened out like pose like to the side, which doesn't really help him balance. So you really gotta like fudge it a little bit. And the arms themselves, like they function well as like jointed and articulated arms, but really everything else. So for articulation, I think I'm gonna have to dock some points off of that, but for the most part, I feel like it's pretty serviceable. I would have liked some ankle joints, but as a whole, I think it's pretty good. So 7.5 out of 10 for the articulation. Pretty also nice inclusion with the head. And just for some size comparisons, here he is with his ape brethren in the movie with Skar King and Kong, specifically the standard versions of both. And I have to say, how ironic that they're all holding bone weapons, huh? But I also have to say, what a massive upgrade this is compared to this. Now, let's remove Kong from the equation and talk about One Eye versus Skar King here. Does this look like a fair matchup? I'm sorry, but look at how much scrawnier of an ape Skar King is. Yeah, he's got the whip, but come on, look at the bone club. Like, also, as far as like the sheer figure quality is, yes, I'll admit this is Playmates' first wave, but this is just figure on figure. This blows Skar King out of the water. The only thing Skar King I say really has over One Eye is the better articulation, but even then that's really putting it lightly. But also, as I was trying to mention with the articulation earlier, the hinge and the foot are better lined up than One Eye's is. See? So, yeah, sorry, but Skar King, you've officially been benched. And just for another size comparison, here he is with his other brethren, co-stars, I should really say, in the movie with Shimo, the original Frostbite version, and his rival, Suko, and his little lackey, Doug. Funny, because they've never appeared on screen together. And I just have to ask, of all the people you were beefing in the movie, Godzilla, Kong, Shimo, Mothra, why Suko? A literal child. You are an embarrassment. And here he is with Godzilla and Mothra, the Toho Titans of the film. Which, please, Legendary, let's give the apes a rest and focus back on the monsters that really matter, huh? Enough Kong, enough Skar King, enough of the apes. Let's go back to Lizard. And finally, for the last bit of size comparisons, here he is with some classic Toho stuff from Bandai Namco. with the Bandai Tamashii Nations SH Monster Arts Godzilla 2001 standard version, and the Mechagodzilla 1995 Burning Godzilla from Godzilla vs. Destoroyah. And so overall, what do I think of this one-eye figure? I was about to say Skar King yet again. Don't blame me, they're both balding old monkeys. I think that they are really, really fun. This guy also just flat out really fun. He's got a lot to him. He's got actually a fair amount of detail, really good detail actually. Some pretty decent paint, you know, it's not necessarily the best, but definitely an upgrade from what came before. A nice range of articulation, and an accessory that I think will satisfy many. If you're looking for something like super high quality, no. This is not of that quality. This is absolutely meant for a younger demographic. That said, if you want a one-eye figure, this is literally your only option, because I don't imagine Hiya Toys might make one. MonsterVerse doesn't seem too keen on making the other Titans, because it seems like after King of the Monsters versus Kong and now the New Empire, them making the secondary Titans just doesn't seem like a big priority. Really, they are only out for what makes them the most money. This one is literally just another Titan to go on the shelf, at least in terms of the retrospect of the companies. But as it stands, if you want a one-eye figure, this is literally your only option. If you like what you see, get it. If you don't like what you see, don't bother. But that said, that's all I have for this video. If you enjoyed it, leave it. Well, actually, for first final ranking, I'm going to do a final ranking of, let's go 7.8. I like that. Feels right in between. Anyways, that's all I've got for this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And before I forget, just for the outro, there you go. Nice light show display. You know, one eye deserves it. That said, thank you guys for watching. Leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, everyone.